So we are beginning with the introduction, as I said, and in this introduction, we are saying, why do we have to wash hands? Why do we have to wash hands? We wash hands. We wash hands as a way, as a way of breaking, germs cycle. It is the single most important thing that you can be able to prevent contamination. You know, you don't want in the event of helping people that you also become sick or in the process. And as I said, at Homemade Training Center, my name is Professor Dr. Jenga. We've been training here for the last 6 years. And teaching has been like my career all the years. If I'm 49 years and I've taught around 20 years, then there is nothing else that I know. That's what I do, that I do every day. And I do also that you are a certain area, you're not here because you don't know. It is only you're here because you are venturing into another career that you need some knowledge how to do things, you know. That is what is very important. And I know if I come to where you are, maybe you are a mechanic, you teach me how to repair cars, isn't it? Yeah? If you're a doctor, you teach me, you treat me, isn't it? If you're a police officer, you tell me this is the law. If you're a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, isn't it? So and nobody goes to the doctor and tells the doctor this is how I want it to treat you. You know, you go to somebody because you need some knowledge that somebody has that you don't have. So, and always, we used to say that all students must be fat. All students must be fat. Not fat in terms of body, right? It means that they must be faithful. You must be faithful, you know, faithful in when you are doing that job. You are doing with, your heart is there. You are doing with all the honesty. You know, you do not have an option. This is what I love to do, and that's why I'm there. And if you're faithful, you not try to be dishonest. You will not try to do the job because the provider is allowed, and you will not try to abscond your duty because, you know, it's like you're doing job when the boss or the supervisor is around, but when the manager or the provider is not there, it's the time to do FaceTime, Snapchat, or Instagram, Facebook, until you forget what time the clients they are supposed to take medication, what time the clients are supposed to take lunch, you know. So you must be faithful. And then the other one is you must be available. You must be available, you know. You must be available. You cannot just be going on your off day and then you call the provider and tell, you know, I can't, when you wake up, maybe you went for a party and you don't feel like going to work, you just take a phone and call the provider and tell him, you know what, I cannot work today, I'm sick, you know. You must be available. And availability comes with commitment, yeah? It comes with your commitment to that job. This is my job, my off days are over, and I got to go to work. You must be available. T stands for teachable. You must be teachable. Are you able to learn? Many people don't want to learn, and that's the problem. You go and you're handed over to another caregiver and you're told, hey, can you show so and so how to do this job? And then you find that everything you're told, you resist. You want to provide your own knowledge to tell, you know, it's like you want to do this person. You must be teachable. This life, even myself as a professor, there are many things I learn every day from people. You know, when I go somewhere, it's not every meetings I go like a speaker. There are meetings I just go and sit down and listen to people talk and explain to me things that I don't know. So that is life. You must be teachable. And if you're not ready or you're not teachable, if you don't have a teachable spirit, then it's gonna be very difficult for you even to learn new environment, how the job is done, the system itself, because you need to understand the system where you'll be working. You need to understand. If you don't have that attitude of trying and being available to learn new things, you're going to have a lot of problems. So anyway, that was just by the way, for as a starter for our class. And you said the first thing is to wash our hands. How do we wash our hands? Number one, when you're washing our hands, this is the correct way. Number one, you're supposed to open the water. You open water, okay, to the correct temperature. You open water to correct what? Temperature. Remember, you're helping this client. You're helping this client who cannot be able to complete tasks for themselves, isn't it? So, and when you are helping this client, would they know whether the water is hot or it is cold? So yourself, when you open the water from the faucet, you have to check with your arm, is this the right temperature? And once you test and you feel like the water is the right temperature, then get the hand of the client and ask them, right? How do you feel if somebody come and splash you with the cold water? Isn't it? You not feel good, isn't it? So you let them, hey John, is the water temperature right? You know, and they'll say yes. If it is cold, you need to make it a little bit warm. If it is hot, you need to make a little bit colder, okay? So that you can help it. So open the water in the right temperature. Number two, apply. You're supposed to apply plenty of soap. Apply plenty of soap. You're supposed to apply plenty of soap. You know, you apply the plenty, so you open the water, you check the temperature, then you apply plenty of soap. And then number three, you're supposed to riddle. We say riddle. You're supposed to riddle. You're supposed to riddle your hands between 15 to 20 seconds. You riddle your hands between 15 to 20 seconds. So you apply plenty of soap and then you riddle. Make sure you riddle your hands 15 to 20 seconds. Okay? Circular motion, you can count 1 to 20 seconds. Both hands, make sure you riddle, you know, make sure you wash your hands, and we're going to do practical in a bit. Above the wrist, make sure between the nails, make sure you also make sure, because you have to identify where the germs hide. After you do that, step number 4, you are supposed to rinse. You're supposed to rinse thoroughly. You're supposed to rinse thoroughly, okay? Without splashing. You know, sometimes we rinse and then you do splash. That is spreading germs, isn't it? You're not supposed to rinse and then you do like this, isn't it? Yeah? It's like even some places you go and visit and you find in their washroom, they have put a towel. That is a germ breeding area. How many people do you think they wipe their hands with those towels? Isn't it? Should be paper towels that are disposed, and you cannot keep a towel right there in the bathroom, right? So you rinse thoroughly, and then step number 5, you close the faucet. Close the faucet with paper towel, not the one that you have already used. You are using a clean paper towel to close the faucet. Okay? So these are the procedure. And if you fail during the state exam, if you fail hand washing, you cannot continue with the exam. That is how serious it is. So you must know how to wash your hands properly. If you fail, it is called international standard precaution. It is the single most important portion it is the most single important part of breaking the germ cycle. There is no any other way. And you have to identify the areas that have germs, germ breeding areas, isn't it? Like the doorknobs, isn't it? How many times do you think they hold these doorknobs? So many times, isn't it? We hold them almost every time, isn't it? How many times do you think we touch the taps? So many times, isn't it? Yeah? The toilet, isn't it? The money, the phones, isn't it? Yeah? We have got so many areas that we can identify. They are breeding germs areas. So you have to identify the germs areas so that treat all the soiled clothes, dirty clothes. They are carrying germs, isn't it? Toilet lids, they carry germs, isn't it? So dirty utensils, dirty clothes, floor. Cleanliness is one of the most important when you're dealing. Remember, these people you're working for, they are vulnerable adults, isn't it? So our cleanliness, it will help them to stay healthy and live longer. All right? Any questions so far? Huh? So the next part that after washing hands is the use of gloves. The use of gloves, and I want you to take just take two gloves and then you make sure you put it on. Each one to take a pair of gloves and you put them on because you will work with gloves. Gloves is part of your hand washing, and use of gloves is the single most also important part of when you're working with the vulnerable adults. So you must know how to use gloves, and you don't put on gloves on dirty hands, okay? So you first of all wash your hands, okay? Dry them properly, because if you don't again dry your hands properly, then you're going to have problem when it comes to wearing of gloves. So when you're wearing gloves, you're not supposed to touch inside. You're supposed to touch in a way that you're not going to contaminate your hands. So this is the way you remove gloves. You're supposed to pinch. You pinch the gloves. You pinch, and I'm the one starting, okay? And then you guys, you're gonna demonstrate, all right? So you pinch the middle, then you peel, okay? You peel like that, and then you get to your two hands. Get your two hands. Then, without touching outside, make sure you put your two hands, and then you peel inside out, without touching outside. So, sir, can you come and stand here and demonstrate? Okay. And you put your mask properly. Okay, go ahead. So you lift your hands, you're showing the class. Peel. Peel, you're peeling. Then two fingers without touching the. Then you peel. You're peeling without touching. Yes. Yeah, good. That's the way you do it. Okay. Then you dispose your. Okay, your chance. What's your name, sir?
Simon.
Simon, yes. Show us how to remove gloves removal. Yes.
Like this.
You pinch.
And you pinch. And you start peeling.
Go ahead. No. You're pinching the middle. Just pinch. Pinch hard and then you peel. Don't touch inside. Peel. You just peel once, it will come out, yes? Okay. Then two fingers from that side. These ones you're getting them here.
Yeah.
Yes, without touching the outside. You're not supposed to. If you touch, then you're contaminated. So if that's the exam you fail. Yeah, okay. So you have to make sure that you pinch properly without. Okay, your turn. What's the name, sir?
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, it's your turn. Come. So you lift your hands. Then you pinch, you peel. It's not something feeling pain, so you just peel. Peel. Then 2 fingers. Peel. Just like the way we used to make those balls, plastic balls, isn't it?
Yes.
Inside out, you're not touching your hands with your hands. Yes, come in. Your name, Ernest?
Ernest,
Yes, Ernest, yes. Show us how you're going to remove your gloves. Yes.
So you pinch,
Mm-hmm.
take it off. Stick your fingers inside
Yes.
and do that.
You know? Yeah. It's that simple. Just make sure that you don't contaminate yourself in the process of and then of course you make sure that you dispose the gloves off so that you do not contaminate, because germs they are source of many sickness that clients may be having. Now, after that introduction, now I want us to go to module 1 and talk about the client. Talk about the client. Okay? Who is the client? The client is the person receiving care. The client is the person receiving care. And what is your role? Your role is to help that client. Your role is to help that client in activities of daily living. You are helping the client in the activities of daily living. So, what are activities of daily living? They are called in short ADLs, which stands for activities of daily living. Activities of daily living. So, what are these activities of daily living? Activities of daily living are what we do every day. They are those things that we can do for ourselves, and we have been employed so that we can help these clients in doing or in helping them into activities of daily living that they cannot do for themselves, isn't it? What are some of these activities? Bathing, isn't it? Yes? What are the other activities?
Clothing.
Clothing or dressing, isn't it? We are dressing them. What else? We are helping them in toileting, isn't it? Yeah? Isn't it? Brushing their teeth, isn't it? Brushing teeth. What else?
Bed making. Bed making.
Bed making. What else?
Cooking.
They cannot be able to cook for themselves, isn't it? What else? They cannot do for themselves. Cleaning, isn't it? Yeah, Amir is telling us feeding them. They cannot feed themselves, isn't it? Yeah? Feeding. They cannot take themselves for doctor's appointment, isn't it? If you are sick yourself, unless you're very sick, that somebody has taken you to the emergency, you can just, if you're not feeling well, you just walk to the hospital, isn't it?
Yes.
And you go tell the doctor, I'm not feeling well, isn't it? But this client, maybe he cannot be able even to remember whether on Monday he or she has a doctor's appointment, isn't it? You are the person who is doing that, isn't it? So doctor's appointment. What else?
Following up on their medication.
Medication assistance, isn't it? Medication assistance. What else?
Can you say socializing? Socializing with them.
We can say companionship, isn't it? Sometimes life can be so lonely, isn't it? Yeah? And we do what? We make sure we we make sure that we give them that needed company. Sometimes we integrate them to the community, isn't it? Integrate them, you integrate them to the community, isn't it? What do you mean? It doesn't mean because they are in that condition, they cannot participate in community activities, isn't it? Maybe on Tuesdays they go and meet with other seniors at a community center. You need to make sure that you take them to, you accompany them to those activities, isn't it? Maybe they need to go to the library. You take them to the library, isn't it? Yeah, making sure that you are providing to them everything they need is very, very important. And maybe something else we can talk about here. Maybe something else we can talk about here. We can talk about something related to this. We can talk about care team. We can talk about care team. And before I forget, it's always good to notice that there are three types of learning. Number one is what we call enhancement. Enhancement means you are watching a video in related to the lesson that you are learning. Okay. Number two is the class contact, the way I'm teaching you now. And number three is skills. We have 16 hours of mandatory skills training. Like, we're gonna do, yes, Amir.
I'm off sound.
You're off sound, okay.
Sound is off.
Okay, all right. We have student online. Can you hear me now? Okay, I'll get you back. Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, okay, all right. So in connection to Amia, can you hear me now? Amia, okay. So the next part now is the care team. You're not the only person who is taking care of this person. As we watch through the video on introduction of home care, right? So we have primary physician. Who are these physicians? Who are these care team? So we have primary physician. This is the doctor, like the primary doctor for the client, isn't it? Yeah? Okay? Then he's the head of the team, okay? Then we have registered nurse. We have registered nurse. He supervises issues with medication, okay? Schedules medical appointment, doctor's appointment, isn't it? So registered nurse, and he is the one who delegates you. He's the one who gives you permission for you to be able to be giving these clients medication, okay? And for you to be delegated, that means you're using someone's license on her behalf, since you are the one with the clients for most of the time, right? For you to be delegated, you need to have what we call NAR, Nursing Assistant Registration. NAR, Nursing Assistant Registration. Nursing Assistant Registration. Nursing Assistant Registration You need it. You register to the state with $85, and then they'll send you the license, and that way then the registered nurse can be able to give you, to delegate you, to be giving these clients medication. All right? Then we have the client himself. This is the person receiving care, isn't it? He must be involved in the care that he is receiving, isn't it? Yeah? So we have the provider, or owner of the business. He's involved, isn't it? He's the one given the contract by the Department of Health and Social Services, isn't it? He or she is directly responsible. Yeah? Directly responsible to these clients. Then we have social worker. Social worker is an important person, usually concerned with the well-being of the client in the home. And the social worker has the authority. He or she will visit home from time to time and even have private conversation with the client and get to know whether the client is receiving the support or the help that is needed. So if you're not handling the client well, the client can say, I'm not receiving the support that I need. Huh? There's nobody when I call for help, or when I press that call button, it takes an hour before somebody shows up, isn't it? When I tell them I need breakfast, they prepare breakfast maybe after an hour. Are you getting what I'm saying? So this team has to work, it has to work together, isn't it? Family members, they are part of the team. Family members, they have to know how their relative is doing in that home. And sometimes from time to time, they will come and visit their relative and know how he's doing, isn't it? Yes. How do they feel if they come and find that their relative has a cast on their leg? Nobody called and told them, hey, Michelle was taking shower and she fell and broke her leg, isn't it? You have to inform them. What is the progress? You have to involve the family in whatever is happening in the life of the client. Are we together? Yes. So this team, sometimes we have a job coach. Maybe this client goes to work 2 hours or 3 hours. Then she comes back. The job coach will help. The job coach will help the client in making sure that he is meeting the goal, the job support goals. Okay? And of course, you are there as the caregiver, and you are the person with this client the longer time. So there have to be a very good communication. It has to be a very good communication flow between the client so that the client can receive the right care. Are we together? So if you notice that there is a change, there is decline in health about the client. Maybe the client of lately has not been eating well, or the temperature is higher, or oxygen levels, they are low. Yeah? And the minute I start teaching you as a community instructor, you are a mandatory reporter. A mandatory reporter means that you are required by the law to report in case you notice any kind of harassment or abuse to the client. You do not need permission from anyone. Are we together? So no secrets, no hiding. If the client happens to fall, don't pick them up. If the client falls, Don't move them, because moving them could even injure them more. Okay? So if the client falls, you're supposed to call 911. They will come and take care of the situation. So you call 911. Second, you inform the provider or the owner. Third, make sure you write what you call incident report. Make sure you write what? Incident report or the statement. You're trying to write, you have to write the statement and explain, I was doing this and this happened, and you make sure that you're telling them what has happened. So, any questions so far? Omia, do you have any question?
Yes, I want to ask.
Yes.
If I'm a caregiver,
Yes.
who am I supposed to report to about all these people? Is it really
This is a team. This is the team working for the client, the person who is receiving care. There has to be. You have the provider is your boss, isn't it? Right? If it is a life-threatening situation that has happened, you're supposed to call 911. You do not need permission from the provider. Are we together? Okay? Once you call 911, inform, now call the provider. Let him know what has happened. So that if he or she was far away, will come and help you to handle the situation, right? Okay? So then you write incident report. An incident report could be a form where you write your name, your address, your email, you write the name of the client, and then you write the time, the date, explain what happened from A to Z, okay? I was giving Michelle a shower when she pushed herself and fell, okay? I called 911 who came and took her to emergency room where they found out she had broken her leg. She was treated and she's doing fine. I called the provider or the supervisor and informed him or her about the situation, and she's doing well, isn't it? Yeah. What are you going to do? What are you doing to prevent the situation or save the situation? You're trying to make sure you observe all the safety measures so that such a situation may not happen again. That's okay. Okay, all right. Sorry about that interruption. So, incident report is very important. Don't try to keep some secret. No secret. It's not a crime to mention or to say something that happened that has affected the client. Are we together so far? Now, let's from that point now we talk about, yes, Omi, yes, Amir. Immediately, incident report you write after the situation has been handled. The next thing, and you have informed the provider or the supervisor, write incident report. And your statement, because it is like a statement, your statement must be consistent. You cannot write something today, then tomorrow the investigator comes and tells you, can you write for me what happened, isn't it? Then yesterday's statement and today's statement, they don't tally. There's a problem, isn't it? So your statement must be consistent and must be immediately, okay? After you've done all the reporting, make sure that you write incident report. Let's talk about the dog teams. The dog teams. the dog teams.